It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It's been a couple of weeks. We are back with Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, of course, joined by the head coach of the Stars, Rocky Russo. And Rocky, how we doing here? Busy weekend and a busy past week of hockey coming up. A little bit of a break before big games this coming weekend against Omaha.
Yeah, 5 games in 9 days, and we had a lot going on. We had some really big games, obviously, in that 10-day stretch, and I thought we did a pretty good job of coming out of there with some big key points, and now we're in this final 6-game stretch, and still very much in the mix for a first round bye, and so it's an exciting time. We're playing playoff hockey right now. I know that obviously we're not quite to the playoffs, but the message to the guys is it's playoff time, and we need to have that mentality every day.
7 of a possible 10 points achieved during that 5-game stretch there. When you look back on it as a retrospective, are you pretty satisfied with how things went, cumulatively speaking?
I'm selfish, so I would love to have them all, but yeah, I thought we did good things. If there's, certainly we hate the way that we lost that overtime game to Sioux City, but the game against Waterloo on Saturday was a good hard effort, considering we had a bad first period, and we played well on Friday. We won on Wednesday, so I think there's a lot of good things happening. I'm really happy with where our focus is, where our energy is. Our culture's in a great spot right now. Our guys are competing really hard. Practice has been really intense. They're enjoying each other's company. They know that the end is near. And I tell every group that I've coached from 2005 on that, this is going to go fast, and you might feel like it's going to last forever, but before you know it, the season's going to be over. And this group, as it sits right now, will never be in the same locker room again. You will have bits and pieces of it next year. Some of you will go to school together. Maybe you'll get to play pro together, but this is a special thing for us. And we want to make sure that we don't take that for granted.
6 games left in the regular season. I'm glad you brought that up. That was something I was thinking the other day, is we're in the home stretch here. It's going to fly by. It has flown by. March and February, to me, I felt like I blinked and they went by. It's amazing how much things have sped up. And I think it's been partly because there's been so many more games in the 2023 part of the schedule. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, February was just an absolute atrocious month for us. We had a bad stretch, and of course that was our heaviest month, and a lot of road games and a tough challenge, but we had a great March and kind of made up the ground that we lost in that month of February. You wish you could have snuck a few more wins in February, and we'd be sitting in a far different position right now. But your goal is to try to win a Clark Cup, and currently we're putting ourselves in a good position to compete for one.
It was just a phenomenal month of March. 8-1-0-1, and just about everything you could have loved could have gone right in that. They had that amazing penalty kill streak where you killed off 33 consecutive ones, allowed 1 goal in the first period of the month, gave up a couple in that final game of the month, but in between, just a dynamite effort on the PK. What stood out about it during the month of March?
You know what, guys are committed to the details of the penalty kill, and we're trying to understand where we want to give shots up from. Obviously, our goaltending has been outstanding, but in those PK situations, we did a really good job of getting our 200-foot clears, not allowing our opponents to gain the zone of possession all that frequently, and jumping loose pucks and blocking pucks, sacrificing a lot of energy coming back to our bench from that PK. And there was a lot of confidence. Guys knew, hey, if we take a penalty, we can kill it off. And when you have a team that feels that way, it's great, because you can play a little bit more free. And if you're playing physical and you finish a check and unfortunately take a penalty, you're going to have guys go out and battle to kill it off for you.
We're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey here on Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's on 93.7 The Ticket. And you can give us a call on the Honda of Lincoln hotline 402-464-5685 or text us on the Sartor Heyman text line, same number, 402-464-5685.
Yep, and we do got a text from the text line from Chase B. And again, you guys can join the show. We got on the FM airwaves, you have the Royals, but we're also streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And Allo, channel 951. You can catch the show on there. But from Chase B from the text line, he has a question for Coach Russo. Is there anything in the USHL that you would like to see added? He's talking about that should have been goal. For a coach's challenge like the NHL or even Division One Division One hockey. He also says happy belated birthday.
Well, first of all, thank you for that. Yesterday was my birthday, and we had a fun Saturday and a Sunday, and then obviously yesterday with my family. You know, the answer to that question is it's a challenge because at the NHL level and even at the NCAA level, there's so many more resources available to the teams when it comes to different camera angles and staffing and review booths that even kind of take that out of the officials' hands. And our referees, I know I get on them from time to time, and that's the emotion that I run with because I'm such a competitive guy, but they've got a tough job to do. And I understand and acknowledge that it's hard. And then, we don't always have two referees. Sometimes we're in that one ref, two linesman system, which makes it even more of a challenge for a referee. So, I think they do the best that they can. I think everybody's out there trying to give their best effort, players and referees included. And, we have an overhead view at the top of our nets. We have another angle that you kind of see when you watch a flow hockey game, but we don't have a ton of different camera angles in our building. We don't have an offsides cam. Not that I would ever be in favor of challenging offsides. I actually think they should do away with that in the National Hockey League. But it's hard. Would I like to see potentially a coach's challenge? I don't think so. And the reason that I don't think so is because in the right situation, you might have a chance to get two or three of them reviewed right now in the course of a game. And the referees are pretty good about if they're not sure, they're willing to go look. And, the coaches, I don't think take advantage of that. But when we ask the guys, they're pretty good about going and taking a peek at it. And if we had a challenge situation where it cost you a penalty or cost you a timeout, then less of those plays are maybe going to be reviewed. So I think that it's fine just the way that it is right now. And, if a coach asks, if I ask, more often than not, they're willing to go look unless they're confident they were right in the right spot. And if a ref comes and says to me, "Hey, Rock, I'm not going to look at it. I had a great view of it. I was right on top of it." I respect that. And if they're not, then they'll go take a peek at it. And then we get an answer one way or the other.
Yeah, for those who missed it, there was a sequence late in this past Saturday's game. Stars were down by 1. The puck rolled in right behind Waterloo's netminder Jack Spicer, but no one could really tell besides people behind that net.
Yeah, and we don't that camera angle is not available. So even if that was a review situation,
that wouldn't have been seen by them.
That wouldn't have been one of the camera angles that were available to the official. And when I did speak after the game, I probably should have held my tongue at that point. It's one of those things where, anybody that knows me knows how passionate I am and how much I want to win. And for our guys, I love our guys and how hard they worked. And I felt so bad for them to not get the result they were hoping for on Saturday. But I need to just take a pause right there and say, you know what, let's let the powers that be get a good look at this before I speak out. And I've had some time to reflect on that over the last couple days. And, whether it was in or not is kind of irrelevant because I've seen the overhead camera and you don't really see it because their goalie was able to lay on it. And, that other view doesn't give you a good look. The view that we did see, like I said, is not one that would have been available to the referee anyway. So that's going to happen in the course of a game. And I think what happens in 62 games is they kind of even out. You lose one here, but you gain one there. And they just feel bigger right now because we're, if you look and we win that game or we even just get a point, we're tied right now with Waterloo, or we're a point ahead. They lost on Sunday, and you're feeling still pretty good about getting that bye, and we still do. We still feel really good, but for us, it's just, hey, emotions run high, and that's a coach. If you're coaching at this level and above, you're passionate about what you do, and you're passionate about your players, and you want to do everything you can to try to find a way to help us win.
And you said it there too, Rocky. It was an emotional weekend. Two teams already in the playoff mindset, so it was going to be that way. Both games were must-win for both squads. Waterloo was coming into last weekend having been shut out by Omaha the week before, so you knew they had a chip on their shoulder. And you guys were looking to get that big win against them as well, and you got it on Friday. But it was a matter of trying to make it 2 in a row. So I think the emotion is very understandable. I was surprised. I'll admit, I was a little surprised that you didn't want to do that you wouldn't be in favor of a coach's challenge. I think it's interesting at the NHL because it is really a gamble. If you get it wrong, you're going right on the penalty kill.
And that's why I feel like, and maybe, who knows? I mean, the way things advance and change over time, we may get to that, but not every building in this league even has instant replay. So you're certainly not getting to that until you get a blanket review system in every building. But like I said, in this current situation, you're looking at 1, maybe 2. But if you get a couple of those bang plays, close plays, is it a kick? Is it a hand? Whatever it might be, the guys go look. And if they go and look an extra time, then why would we want to put that coach's challenge in? Because like I said, I can count on one hand the number of times I asked this year and they didn't go look at it. So they've been good about saying, hey, you're right, I'm not sure. I'd rather go double check and make sure we get the correct answer here.
With Saturday's game too, you talked about over the course of the season, things evening out a little bit, the bounces going both ways. I thought in Saturday's game, it was a quick whistle on many shots on net, but I did think it went both ways.
It did. And you know what? Hey, like we had an empty net at one point in the second period on the power play that their goalie made an unbelievable paddle save. And, we had our chances, but it just shows our guys, hey guys, we can't, even though we had Bill at night and that emotional game on Friday, we have to be able to get our head on and play right away to start the game, because we clearly had a bad first period. And, but you could look, and I mean, Waterloo had an awful bad first period on Friday, or maybe they had a great first period on Saturday and we had a great first period on Friday. But either way, they managed to get that second one in the first period on Friday or Saturday, and we only got one in the first period on Friday. So that ultimately ended up being the difference in the game. But the way we played in the second and third, I couldn't be more proud of our guys for making the conscious decision that they were going to get their heads back on and focus and push back, and they did a great job of that.
A lot of your leaders, your star players doing that too. We've talked about the times they need to step up, and a situation certainly happened. Tanner Ludke, if one shot doesn't maybe glance off of Mason Marcellus, he's got the Stars' first hat trick of the season on Saturday.
I can't believe we haven't had a hat trick yet this year.
It's still not since the 2 in a row by Wallen last year.
Yeah, no, we had a few hat tricks last year. I remember USADO had one, Wallen had a couple. I don't think that Aiden Thompson had one. We had a ton of guys with 2-goal games, and we've had a lot of guys with 2-goal games this year.
Yeah.
But nobody's been able to. I know we've had a few where, the other team had the net empty or whatever, and I was, I had Klavs Weinbergs out. He had 2 goals the one game, trying to get him his third. And the guys are always good about it. They tap me and they're like, "Hey, coach, we got a 2-goal lead. Can you get him out there, see if you can get the empty netter and get the hat trick?" But I'd have to go back and really think about the last year I went an entire season without somebody having one. That you just hit me with a stat I didn't even think about, but it's interesting.
I think it was late March. I have it written down somewhere when the last one was. It was the 2 by Wallen. It's the last time it's happened. And it's interesting you brought up that the guys will bring that up. I never even thought to ask something like that. That's really cool that they're doing that, kind of looking out for each other, saying, "Hey, I want to get him his moment."
They do. They look out for each other, and I'm not paying attention, right? I'll
know a goal to you.
I'll know in the moment that they've got their second one, but then that's the furthest thing from my mind. I'm worried about who's going in the next 3 consecutive shifts. And if I get this guy out, I get him back on the bench. When can I get him out again? And, when is the goalie going to come out for the other team, and how much time is going to be left? And, I'm talking to Mike about what our D pairs are maybe going to look like. And so there's enough other stuff going on in my brain that who's got how many goals is not real high on the list.
Understandable. Maybe that's something to bring up to the listeners here. I'm curious if anyone has any prediction. We've got 6 games left in the regular season. Maybe you want to text in who your prediction would be. Text us at 402-464-5685. I'm curious who people might predict for that. Rocky, can I get a prediction out of you? If the Stars are going to get one before the season ends, who's it going to be by?
Oh, gosh.
It's putting you on the spot, I know, but...
I mean, I guess you got to say Tanner, right? He leads our team in goals.
Yeah.
But generally, it's not that guy. It's somebody that has a hot night like Usato, who he probably only had 12 or 15 goals last year. I don't even know what he had, but he had 3 of them in one night, and it was a huge night for him. It was pretty cool. That was a fun night for you and for our boys. But you never know. You never know. It could be somebody that pops 2 real early and gets one late on the empty netter, or somebody just gets the old 1, 2, 3 in the first period. I don't know. So we only got 6 games in playoffs to find out. Yeah. So we'll see.
It'd sure be special if it was a playoff one. I wouldn't mind seeing it before then. You mentioned Tanner. He's got 6 multi-goal games now after this past Saturday. I'm going to predict Jared Mangan because he's basically been a point-a-game player since mid-February. And I think we've talked about him at length the last few weeks, but he's been finding ways to score or to get in the right spots, the setup guy. So I'm going to predict him is going to get it this season, whether it's in the playoffs or in the regular season here. Someone's got to do it, though. We can't go a full season without one.
Well, we would all be thrilled for Jared if he's the one that got it, especially because he's been playing some of his very best hockey in the last 5 or 6 weeks. And, we've talked about him throughout the course of the year. You could see him really starting to get comfortable and consistent within his game, predictable within his game. And the adjustment to this league is a challenge. And he was fortunate. He had a 20 some odd game stint last year in the league with Madison, but spent the most of his year in Minnesota with the Wilderness in the North American League. And, he had to figure out some compete stuff and some pace stuff when he first got going. But man, has he really gotten comfortable, and he's been such a dominant player for us.
Absolutely. Well, it's been, as we mentioned, it's been a little bit since we've been on. We haven't had a chance to talk about some of the unique games we've had recently. We had the kids game last week. What was your takeaway from that one? An 11 a.m. start, half the building's full, but it sure didn't sound like that with the way the kids were screaming most of that game, did it?
No, it would have been great if Lincoln Public Schools could have come as well, because then we would have had the big sold out building, and hopefully we can make that work next year. But my daughter, who is 3 going on 4, actually said to me, "Daddy, I thought it was going to be a quiet game, and it was a really loud game." And it's not just loud, like all of our games are obnoxiously loud. Corey knows at some point I'm going to be asking for the ibuprofen because my head hurts. But
I believe it.
It's that high pitch loud that those young kids bring, and it was pretty cool. I know they all had a great time. They all got to get a bunch of autographs from the players after the game, and we came away with a big win. So it was everything you could ask for an 11 a.m. Wednesday morning game.
Did the guys feed off of that in a positive way? Just a change of pace with the game and a different type of crowd?
You know what? I think that they enjoyed it. The downside is it's not that full. And we've had such incredible crowds all year that they're a little spoiled now because they're used to playing in front of 2,500, 3,000 a night. And, but the energy was out of this world. And that's all you can ask for when you're playing at home. You want to have as much energy as you can have. And those kids and our fans that were able to take a long lunch break or a day off of work that day really got to bring it, and our fans our players are very appreciative of that.
Yeah, they sure seem to be in that one. And do we have more texts here coming in, Harrison?
Yep, going back to trying to guess if any of the Lincoln Stars get a hat trick, who might it be? Chase chimes in. He says far-fetched, but the defenseman of the week, referring to Antonio Fernandez, will get a hattie before the season ends. So that's from Chase B. And again, 402-464-5685. You can join the conversation that way.
Man, wouldn't that be a cool kind
really cool
bow on Antonio's Lincoln Stars career? He's been so good for us. He's all rookie team last year in the USHL. Statistically, he's heading for one of the all USHL teams from a point production standpoint as a defenseman this year. He's got 10 goals and 35 points, and now he's got his commitment to Colorado College. But wouldn't that be a tremendous story if he's the one that found a way to get the 3? Yeah. I think that'd be really cool. So that's a great choice by Chase.
I like that one because he's the only Stars defenseman with a multi-goal game this season too. His 10 goals, we mentioned they're tied for 4th most among USHL defensemen. He's got that great ability to be able to jump up in the offensive zone and try to get in on the attack. I thought that goal against Sioux City a couple of weeks ago was a great example of that. Kind of rescued a loose puck at center ice, carried it in, and next thing you know, he's stuffing it home. And you kind of had to double check the number a little bit as it was happening to make sure it was him.
Well, the best part about Antonio's game is he played a lot of his career as a forward, most of his career as a forward. So he has that offensive knack and awareness, and he's done a good job, especially here the second half of the year, of picking his spots, knowing when he can engage and when he needs to sit back and defend, and he's being rewarded for that. So I'm really, more than anything, just proud of Antonio's development over the course of the last 2+ seasons that I've been fortunate enough to coach him, and seeing him have a lot of success personally and obviously from a team standpoint has been outstanding. And I hope we could bring a Clark Cup here to wrap it up and then send him on his way to be a CC Tiger.
Wouldn't that be a great way to do it? And I'd encourage everyone, if you didn't get a chance to read it, there's a great feature on him in therinklive.com. You spoke with them a little bit for that as well.
They asked me 50 questions and then they put one sentence in there from me.
Well, I think they got one coming maybe from Mason as well. So they might get a few more from you.
But. No, it was all good. I was really happy to see him get recognized by them, and they wrote an awesome article, and he's a great kid. So good for him to get some of that press. It's well deserved.
We talked a little bit about how going down the stretch here, you're starting to, the locker room is not going to be the same here. It's got to be a little strange for you. Maybe some of these guys who you've had here multiple years, kind of knowing down the stretch here, wow, these are the last few games with them. Is that something that maybe doesn't get appreciated until once it's done? Or is it you have a moment here every so often where it's kind of like, wow, this is one of those final big talks I'm having with this kid before he moves somewhere else?
No, I don't really think about it. I mean, I've been doing this so long. I know that's part of the deal. And it's kind of like when you get a dog, that the dog is going to be your best friend, but dogs have short lives, and eventually they're not going to be around anymore. And for our guys, the good part is I could still have great relationships with them, and I can be supportive of them in their careers as they move on. I've got so many former players now that are married and have kids, and they call me for job references or to ask questions or just to talk. And so I know that's part of the deal, and you become invested in your players and you build that transformational relationship, knowing full well that it's going to abruptly end. And you don't know exactly when it's going to end. It could end like it did last year, where we're poised for a long playoff run and poof, it's over, or it could end in the championship game with a big victory. And so you don't know, and I think that's part of the fun, is just coming to the rink every day, and then eventually, when it's over, it's over.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we mentioned, a couple games this weekend with Omaha, at them on Friday, and then hosting them Saturday. And Rocky, real quickly, it's an opponent who we've seen plenty this year, but it is strange to be saying this is the final time we'll get a chance to see the Omaha Lancers this year. What's been your favorite moment maybe from this rivalry matchup? There's been a lot of highlights for the Stars.
Oh, goodness. I don't know. I mean, we had a pretty cool one last time we played them at home, right? We had a couple fights in the third period, a big 5-1 win, and an electric crowd. That was awesome. And I know that they're not statistically in the playoff hunt, but Wilkes does a great job with his team, and he's going to have them prepped to play. And whenever you've got a Stars Stars Lancers matchup, you can throw the standings out the window, because it's two teams that are battling, and I think that's a great long-term rivalry in the USHL, and one that I'm proud to be a part of.
It's going to be a lot of fun. On the road at Omaha Friday, 7:05, at home at the Icebox on Saturday at 6:05. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring on the president of the Lincoln Stars, Lori Crocker. A lot to talk about with her about some of the excitement that we've had in recent weeks, as well as what's coming up here this weekend and hopefully into the playoffs as well. We'll take a break. This is Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doane isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doane University today at doane.edu.
March is a month of good luck. From epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts this month at Mullen Motors.
No tag-on, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
March is full of high school state basketball action, the NCAA tournament, baseball season starting up, all great things that also cause a lot of stress. Instead of letting your nerves get the best of you and cause uncomfortable tightness, get ahead of all of it with a massage from The Body Shop. The Body Shop in Lincoln is your place for all types of massages: deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Book your appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A. Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $10 off any athletic shoes $105 and under, and get $15 off any shoe over $105. Choose from respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, On, and 361 Running. And don't forget the trendy Hey Dudes. A new shipment just arrived for the season. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doane isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doane University today at doane.edu.
March is a month of good luck. From epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts this month at Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And welcome back into Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman. We're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey, and making her first appearance on the show this year is team president Lori Crocker. Lori, welcome back. You were on last year, but before I was here, of course.
Yes, they usually try to get me in here once a year.
Yeah, so it's been a fun season, hasn't it?
Yes.
And it's crazy that we're coming down the stretch here. I realized that I think last week is at the time we had 8 games left. Now we've got 6 more games left and only 2 more at home in the regular season.
Yes. Well, we had so many games in the last 8 days.
Yes.
It was crazy. So at this time of the year, everyone gets a little tired, and you can just tell with staff and everybody's like, all right, we're getting to the end here. We just got to push through. But also it feels like, wow, it went by really, really quick.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people right now, it's the excitement that we're getting into the postseason too, but it's also that, wow, we're nearing the end here. We know here in a few weeks, one game could be enough to end the season. So
yeah,
it's kind
only
of crazy.
2 home games left seems really strange right now.
Yeah, that was the one for me that's been really strange to say. There's the home game Saturday against Omaha, final time playing them this year.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about this off air, but we know people are excited. There's been talk about maybe things changing up with the schedule next year. Probably would mean less Omaha though. So it's almost kind of bittersweet. It's nice to see some other teams potentially, but having these crowds for the Lancers games are obviously a little bit different.
Yes, they have been some of our best crowds, but we've had just really good crowds in general all season. They've really picked up, so that's been good. But Omaha's always a really good crowd for us. And yeah, I have the Matrix for next year already. We'll only play them 4 times at home.
Wow.
And Tri-City 4 times, which is better than the 13
yes.
that we played this year. So it's going to be nice. And I don't know how many fans actually know that we are going to go back to cross conference next year. So it'll be great to have exciting. 6 more teams come to us.
Yes.
So
hopefully, for me, it's exciting. It's a little bit of both. I'm excited to see different teams. I know Rocky's excited for the Youngstown trip. I'm not as much personally, if that comes to that.
I don't know if I'd be excited about that bus ride, but
it's easier. It's easier. It's going to be enjoyable for fans. Yeah. They can enjoy it for sure.
Yes. We've had a lot of our diehard fans that really pay attention to that, are like, when's that going to happen? So it's happening.
Yeah.
So I've seen not the full schedule, but I know the Matrix and how it's going to come out. So
going to be really fun to have that. It'll be fun to see some of those different teams too.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite moment of this season so far? Because you said it a few times that this is kind of a back to normal year after a couple of years affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. This year's been pretty normal from start to finish. What's maybe one of your favorite moments you've had from the season, whether it's a game, whether it was something else?
Oh, I don't know. That's tough. It is really nice that since, well, even our technically last normal season was 1920, and that got shut down, and we lost nine home games that year, and then it was never the same. And even last year, when things were getting better, we were still in a mandate at the beginning of the season. So this really truly is our first year that we could just everything's fully back to what you call
Yeah.
normal now, I guess. So that's been great. Man, it's really hard to, I feel like this last week has been pretty good. Just we had a lot of games, but everything went well. We had really good crowds. It was the first year we did that kids game on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that was exciting, I guess. A little bit different noise in there, but it was noisy. So I don't know. It's hard to pick one. I mean, obviously last Saturday with Coach Rule there was a very exciting game, and that was a slight chaos for me that night with Bill at night and all the things we had going on, but it worked out well.
The thing for me Wednesday, I'm sure you probably had to deal with this way more than I did. There were a couple of times in between periods when the kids are on camera and they're screaming, and I had to stop a couple conversations with people. I said, I got to wait for them to stop screaming because I can't raise my voice any higher at this point.
Well, it was funny that I was like, wow, they're really loud, but I was like, they're not cheering, they're screaming. So it was literal screeches, which was kind of funny, but you know what? They were fantastic. And it had to have been the best field trip of their entire life. I mean, there's no way. Like, I didn't get to go on fun field trips like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had to go to the museum and not pay attention. So it was a good time, and it was fun to see them on the video board.
I remember seeing the kids coming in, and when I was younger, I went to one where it was a practice for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They did like a kids practice. I remember thinking that was so cool. And then I thought, wow, I kind of got gypped. These kids got an actual game itself. That's got to be so cool. And a lot of the feedback from the season ticket holders was really good. And a lot of the fans who did go, they said this was great. It was a different type of energy, and it was fun.
Well, it was nice. Our season ticket holders that did get to come to the game, they enjoyed that it was new fans. I mean, and really, LPS couldn't participate this year, so it was all surrounding cities. And a lot of kids that have never been to a hockey game before. And I think we probably gained, 933 new fans. And that day, and I'm sure they went home to their parents and was like, I want to go back to that, which is great for us. And so our season ticket holders were good. They, probably were in the wrong seats and all the things. And so there was plenty of space to just kind of move just because it wasn't full that day. So it was a really good experience. So I think it went well, and I'm hoping now that we can maybe double that next season.
That'd be great. It'd be fun to see that come back again. And it helped. It was a great hockey game too.
It's already been submitted, so it's on the plan for next year.
So I guess we might as well talk about it more than the schedule a little bit for next year, because you're a big part of shaping that for the Stars. What are some other popular nights potential? I know we're jumping ahead a lot here, but I'm sure fans are curious. What are some other ones that are coming back? Is it something like the Thanksgiving Eve game? Will that be back?
Yes. So that used to be a really old tradition, which was sold out thing, and so we started it back up last year, and it was pretty good last season. I shouldn't say last season, this season. Mm-hmm. So that is on the schedule for sure for next season to do that, to get that game. Really be nice to sell that out and do something fun for that. We have most of our jersey auctions back. Star Wars night is a really big night for us this year. It went really well. And we're going to do a Star Wars jersey next year.
How about that?
I think
I might jump in on the bidding there.
That is, I feel like, going to be a pretty cool one. So there's, that's going to be thrown in there. We are working on a new night, which is going to be kind of fun. We're going to do a Battle of the Decades. So that's, tentative. So we're going to kind of do something where like every single period's a different decade, and do the music, do the things, the video board, and that kind of fun stuff. So hopefully we can have some air guitar handouts or something, or blow up guitars for the door. So
we do have another comment off of Facebook. Carrie says it was awesome to have the kids there. They sat behind me, and I love the excitement. She says, please consider getting LPS. She took her daughter out so she could still come anyway. So that's awesome. But thank you guys for commenting. And again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and Allo channel 951. We're on TV now as well. So if you want to put a face to the voice, a great way to do that. And the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. You guys can always join the show that way as well.
Really cool to have that kind of feedback too. I mean, how cool is that when you hear that kind of stuff?
You know what? We got so much good feedback. And if you notice that the teachers were having the time of their life, they were doing the gritty on the
Never
video
thought I'd see a
board.
teacher gritty.
They were loving it. And I talked to a couple of them, and we got so many emails the next day that said, if you do this again next year, we're in already.
Wow.
Like they had such a great time. And teachers were getting autographs and photos with the boys afterwards because we did that. So it's nice that they could stay. I was really like, please don't go to overtime because these buses have to leave at like 2:00.
Yep.
And I wanted the kids to be able to meet the players and do that. And it was great. Rocky got them up real fast. And so they got a chance to meet all the kids. So that was great.
And I think you said it best. You made a lot of new fans that
Yep.
day. People who hadn't been to a Stars game, maybe hadn't heard of the Stars. So I think that's the best thing you can do is appealing to all ages. I think that's probably a challenge a lot of the team deals with is you're trying to appeal to every age group that you can.
Yeah.
And that's I think that was a great way to do it.
Yeah, there was all ages there. And what I think a lot of people probably didn't notice, they're like, was it just a field trip? Well, it was STEM day. So it's what the science, technology, engineering, math are.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did have like 9 tables there that they were doing science experiments, and they were, there was a learning table each all over through the hallways.
Mm-hmm.
And we handed out like a packet that did like Hockey 101 and like how you make the ice and kind of the science behind the ice. So it wasn't just come to a hockey game.
Yes.
So
It has to be educational.
It was educational.
Yeah.
And we had stuff on the video board about hockey. We had the really fun one that was like the don'ts of hockey, which
Yes.
is pretty cool. They beat up the dummy, the kids like that. So it was, we had special requests from some of the season ticket holders to play that during our normal game. So I think Carly put that up last week.
We saw
So,
that. I think it was Friday and Saturday too. It went over very well too. We're going to take a quick break here. Stars president Lori Crocker joining us. More to come as we're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey. You're on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doane isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doane University today at doane.edu.
March is a month of good luck. From epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts this month at Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Guys, when I first started with Barrels Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Barrels 10-week challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Barrels Extreme Body Shaping.
March is full of high school state basketball action, the NCAA tournament, baseball season starting up, all great things that also cause a lot of stress. Instead of letting your nerves get the best of you and cause uncomfortable tightness, get ahead of all of it with a massage from The Body Shop. The Body Shop in Lincoln is your place for all types of massages: deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Book your appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A. Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $10 off any athletic shoes $105 and under, and get $15 off any shoe over $105. Choose from respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, On, and 361 Running. And don't forget the trendy Hey Dudes. A new shipment just arrived for the season. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doane isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doane University today at doane.edu.
March is a month of good luck. From epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts this month at Mullen Motors.
No tag-on, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back for our final segment here of Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman. We're joined by the president of the Stars, Lori Crocker, and we've been chatting a lot about some of the recent games for the Stars. And obviously Saturday wasn't the result we wanted. Fun night at the Icebox, though, with Matt Rule, of course, coming in attendance. How did that come about? I think a lot of fans, maybe whether they were Stars fans or they were Husker football fans, people were surprised to see he was there.
Yeah, it's been tough. I've been here for over 5 years now, and I've been trying to get like anyone at the Huskers. Obviously, head coaches would be nice to come and do puck drops, try to get college kids, all the things to come to us. And I've gotten nowhere until this year, which has been great. I had a contact and I had reached out and they were going to get back to me. Well, then all of a sudden I started getting we did that commitment week video. I don't know. I think we shared it. They were doing a whole bunch of things commitment week. All the football players were doing football, golf, soccer, doing everything. And so then they came to try out ice hockey. So they called and it was very last minute. And they're like, hey, I know it's last minute. What can we do? And it was 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so you know what? We made it work. We accommodated them. They came in. They had a great time. And guess who shows up?
Yeah.
So Coach Rule. So it was great. So, which was nice because then I could actually just meet him in person and talk to him. So, and he was fantastic. Actually, all of the staff, all of the coaches that I've met with over the last few weeks, just of all the stuff they've been doing, have been fantastic. And everyone's always very responsive. They respond to me. It's been great. So I talked to Coach there and he agreed to the puck drop and here we are. And he showed up to the game, which was fantastic. The crowd loved it. And not only did he show up, he stayed for the entire game.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we have a lot of puck drops. And depending on who it is, they drop the puck and they're out the door.
Yeah.
So, and he stayed till the very end. He watched the entire game. And he didn't ask for anything special for security, nothing. Him and his coaches, they were up in the club. And I walked him up there after the puck drop, and it was just kind of a swarm. And I was like, oh boy. But you know what? He didn't care. He talked to everybody, shook their hands. I think he took 2,500 photos that night. I'm not kidding. Like everywhere. And he took every single one. So he was fantastic. We put him in the Kawasaki.
Yeah.
So he got to spin around and he was loving it, and he was throwing his hat in the crowd and they were going wild. So we tried to give him the full Stars experience. So
Yeah, you took
it
the
was
words
great.
took the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna say he got the full Lincoln Stars
He did.
experience.
Yeah.
Did he say anything about how the night went for him? Did he enjoy it?
He really enjoyed it. He actually texted me right after the game and said, thank you for everything. He thought it was fantastic. He had a great time. Everything went well. He had a Stars jersey that we got him, and he wore it all night long. So he was, he had a fantastic time.
Yeah, it looked like it. Pumping up the crowd a
Yep.
couple of different times.
Yep.
Every time he was on screen, it got pretty loud as
Yep,
well.
Yep. Try to get him on the video board. He was our hype man. So that was great because
Yeah.
it was kind of a tense game. It was close. And
It
so
was.
we needed all the crowd interaction we could get. So
It was,
it was fantastic. I can't say enough good things about Coach Rule.
and we do have another pretty special puck drop coming up here in a couple of weeks, not just for the Stars, but of course here for 93.7 The Ticket. You want to detail
Yes.
that one, Lori?
Yeah, DP. He's going to be dropping the puck on the 21st now. So we had to move that. So we'll do the post, but
Yeah. He's been a little
Yep.
bit busy,
he
but
will be there, and I'm pretty sure he will stay around for the whole game too.
yeah, that'll be really cool to have him on
Yeah.
hand. It's not great that we can fit him in. I know he's a busy guy. I was
Yep.
talking to Harrison about that. And he's every which place he possibly can be. So it'd be really fun to have him special and anyone else tonight with 93.7 The Ticket being there as well. Lori, we've talked about how there's a lot of games. Well, a lot of the schedules behind us at this point. Not a lot left on the schedule, and we're kind of running out of time for a lot of these home games. And one thing we've been pushing in recent weeks is trying to get if you have season tickets, renewing them. Now, maybe some of these people haven't had a chance to yet. How can they renew their season tickets coming up here in the next few weeks?
Well, you can always renew during the week. You just give us a call and work it out with Kayla. But we do have the renewal window open for the next 2 home games, and whatever playoff games we'll probably have it open for that also. So you can renew at the renewal window, or if Kayla has to move to the box office for whatever reason, she can renew them there. So
yeah. And what's one of the biggest perks for people to have Lincoln Stars season tickets? What do you think? Some of the reasons that it's worthwhile to have those year to year.
Well, it's a pretty good deal. I mean, if you want to get season tickets for a lot of things, it's a lot more expensive than our tickets.
Might be on a waiting list too for some.
Right. And so you do get a lot of perks. I probably can't list them all off, but the biggest thing is you get a deal on concessions. So you get 20% off of that all the time, 20% off the merch store. So really, if you are coming to at least almost half or even 10, 12 games a year, you're going to save a lot of money. So it's kind of worth it to do all of those things. And there's some other little stuff in there and perks too, but it's a pretty good deal.
Absolutely it is. Now, there's one way fans can definitely benefit. That's by building a player too. Yes. That's something you can get those free season tickets. You've built it this year real quickly. How fun has that been having Boston Buckberger in your house?
Oh, well, he's fantastic. There's, can't say enough good things about that guy.
Yeah. And a great player and,
Yes.
Obviously a great human being as well.
He is definitely one of the best humans I've ever met.
Yeah.
Such a good kid.
He's had a great season. It's been so fun having him on this team. And Laura, it's been fun having you on here tonight. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's been the Stars president, Lori Crocker, joining me. I'm Joel Norman. It's been another edition of Outside the Box. The Stars are home this Saturday at 6:05 as they take on Omaha. It's Hockey Fights Cancer Night with a jersey auction to follow the game. Get your tickets at LincolnStars.com.